I call myself an interdisciplinary artist because I work with whatever I want to work with. I wanted to do a study of Baroque sculptures, and so I don't have any resources to look at them in person around here. So small town. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't normally get inspired by that. Normally, I guess this is more of like a spontaneous thing. But I was familiar with it before looking at it. I didn't look at it and immediately go, that's what I want to do. Around his name is Cecil Howard, and he did these studies of Renaissance sculpture. The whole idea, I thought it was just exciting. If you don't find something exciting, why are you gonna want to do it? I've been doing theater work. I did lights and set building by our theater. That was probably one of the most enjoyable group experiences I've had. Everybody was passionate. Everybody had a thing that they were supposed to be doing. Everybody was listened to. Everybody knew each other pretty well. And there was never a time when I hated anybody working on the project or the project itself. And it was mostly successful because of the people that were doing it. And I think that's the most important part about a group project. And I was thinking to myself a lot, was if I could somehow do this for a living with these people, I would. Working alongside them, but I was also kind of shadowing and learning from them. They made me feel really involved in what was going on, and they gave me just the right amount of autonomy. And I was working on my own stuff. And they were just really willing to teach me do you want to learn how to do this? And I left the designing process. I did later come back to paint it, which was fine. It was cookie cutter, whatever. I don't know if you're somebody who's really serious about visuals as much as the intellectual and the conceptual parts of art versus I just like drawing cartoons, so I'm gonna do this mural. And as an individual, I really do not like the idea of necessarily being a public servant in terms of unless I'm approached by city, somebody else in the community to do something for them. But if I'm doing my own personal practice, if it happens to line up with what people want, that's great, but I don't want to go out of my way to make a political statement that I don't care about, or that doesn't interest me. I'm not going to care about doing that, so I'm not going to do it. Unless that particular problem starts to affect me in a way that I can really grab onto and relate to, then it's near impossible for me to genuinely make anything that speaks about it in a way that's true to myself, or that would be successful. In Alaska, I was thinking about food, and when I got back, I was thinking about food, and I was thinking about exercise. People should know this. And I wanted to do these things that originally, before this set of drawing, I wanted to take photos of a bunch of people working out at the gym that I was going to, and just focus on the movement of lifting weights or just moving on a treadmill. Say he's just an average dude who doesn't look like he goes to the gym, but here I'm seeing him in this photo busting his ass, trying to make a difference. And I think I wanted to convey that, and along with it, I wanted to do these paintings about these additives like oil and butter and like ranch dressing, Hershey syrup, kind of elevate them in a way that doesn't make them seem casual. Like, it shocked me to think about how many unnecessary things we put on our food. I'm gonna help them say what they want to say, how they want to say it, because I think that's my obligation as their peer to help them go where they want to go as an artist, and I'm a resource to them to help their vision happen. And I know a bunch of people telling me they were throwing out ideas for them that they were taking up their, to me, speaking in a way that wasn't helping me. That was to help themselves. That was like putting an idea forward that they wanted, not looking at it in my shoes and thinking about what I wanted. Their opinion doesn't matter to me right now. She quoted the World Health Organization, and I couldn't help but think how ironic that was when talking about mental health of fat people, next to the same documents that said this is the second leading cause of preventable death behind smoking. And there was, there's a lot of things I wanted to say to this person, but I didn't. Instead, I said, "You're rendering these very nicely, and your message is coming across very strong." Art is definitely, I would consider like an outlet for myself if I can express that in a way, good relationship with materials that are as nice, but be able to make things that are so really impressive. That kind of like speaks to me, and I think I want to be able to inspire people to do art themselves, but also make a little bit more intellectual thought than just some guy carving rocks on YouTube might bring. Some kind of interesting opinion about it, even if it's positive or negative, because even if they don't like it, I'm stimulating some kind of conversation or thought. As soon as people started spitting that stuff out, I was like, this idea, it's not mine anymore. If I follow any of these suggestions or my view on society, sometimes it's just, look at this cool thing I made. It's more of an internal and visual, what does that feel like? So kind of detaching myself a little bit from it as much as I can. This piece, I was staring at it forever, and it's looking exactly how I wanted it to. I really feel a stepping forward. I see a concentration. I see just this kind of winding up motion. Or with this one, I really feel like I feel that step over that leg. I don't really think about who it is or what they're going through. I'm thinking about how am I, the viewer, kind of in capturing that in a way that's not specific. And that's particular to this set of work, which is not supposed to be, it's referencing a specific sculpture, but it's separating it from that imagery that might be kind of like very cherished for a lot of people, kind of detaching it from religion, which is part of my own thing. That religious part of it, that doesn't mean anything to me, but I think there's still a lot of interesting conversations that can be had about it. That's what it is. With the same. It's my job then to figure that out. How am I going to do that?